take a fun little journey into occult ritual magic, I want to talk about the 9/11 Stargate. So, the theory is that when magicians or the people who are trying to control us, so you'd call them sorcerers, they're using magic for selfish reasons. That would be a sorcerer. When you want to do a magic spell, you need energy. Where do you get energy? You get it from us, the humans, our imagination. They want to capture the goal of the magician is to capture your imagination, and he basically treats your mind as a sort of territory that can be dominated. He's trying to dominate your mind. So even if you don't believe in any spiritual or energy aspects to this, think of it as psychological warfare, right? Okay, so the theory is the sorcerer, he needs the more attention given to his spell, the more powerful the spell. So when you have a high profile event like a Super Bowl halftime show where a lot of people are paying attention, a sorcerer or magician is going to want to use this to cast a spell with all these people paying attention to give his spell more power. So, this is written from the perspective of a Christian. Here we have, on February 1st, as an estimated 130 million unsuspecting Americans tuned in to the Super Bowl halftime show was turned into a perverted pagan burlesque show. Janet Jackson's X-rated spectacle being dismissed as a publicity stunt, but the close examination of the facts reveals something far more sinister. Super Bowl Sunday, February 1st, was also the traditional pagan/satanic holiday of Candlemas or Imbolc. The rites traditionally called for a young woman to parade around town naked, invoking the pagan spirit of Brigid, in an effort to bring on lactation from farm animals. Brigid was also revered as the goddess of spring, represented by the sun. A close examination of the footage of a bare-breasted Janet Jackson with the strange sun ornament piercing her nipple, both clear references to the satanic cult ceremony. The public outcry seems to have largely missed the point. The act was not just about sex, it was about Satanism. And then he goes on to say about how Jackson has a lengthy history of bizarre occult activities, which is true. Look at the beginning of the video for Thriller. Due to my strong personal convictions, I wish to stress that this film in no way endorses a belief in the occult, says Michael Jackson. So why do they have to put this disclaimer saying that it doesn't endorse a belief in the occult? It's like one of those things where, like, you protest too much. Like, you're giving away your guilt by saying, oh, no, you're by defending yourself, kind of. And one more thing, if anyone wants to check this out, go look up the symbol on Janet Jackson's nipple. It's like the sun symbol, I think, and I can't remember specifically, but yeah, it's obvious sun worship symbolism. So yeah, he says Jackson's like, this video does not, endorse the occult. Well, what about Michael Jackson's cover album here, Dangerous? Look at this shit. We got a reference to Metropolis right here in the middle. I think we got the Pillars, Jacob and Boaz, the All-Seeing Eye, Skull and Bones right here. I mean, this is like, I can't, this like hurts my head to look at. It's so full of, I couldn't even begin to analyze this shit. It's so ripe with symbolism. Okay, now so we've established their theory. We've established that, they're using we briefly established that they're using the Super Bowl halftime rituals with the occult. Janet Jackson was involved. Her family seems to be from a family that is involved in the occult by looking at Michael Jackson's work. Now let's flash forward to 9/11. We have this book, Prophet of Evil, Aleister Crowley, 9/11 and the New World Order by William Ramsey. And this book basically, I haven't read it, but I've seen him on interviews, and this book is about 9/11 being a magical ritual, Stargate, occult. you know. And we have Flight 11, the master number, hitting the 93 floor, which is a reference to Crowley, which is why he named the book the way he did. In 93 was a reference to Thelema, the religion Crowley started, and also references to Saturn. And we have the first plane hit a building that began construction. In the time that it began, this building began construction, or they broke ground on construction for this building, and the time it collapsed was 33 years, another master number. And I think this is all done intentionally, obviously. So this book's saying, you know, going along with my point that 9/11 was also, that it makes a lot of connections to the occult. 9/11 was a occult ritual. And really the idea I was talking about, yeah, they're trying to capture our imagination. They're trying to focus all of our attention and get, you know, all our energy by having our attention. So, and there's a thing called the Princeton random number generator, and here we see an article: 3 hours before the attacks, a machine called a random event generator at Princeton University predicted cataclysmic event was about to unfold. And this is sort of goes along the idea of like what the documentary What the Bleep Do We Know, where, you know, are the thoughts of the scientist, or the imagination, or whatever you want to call it, of the scientist affects the experiment on a quantum level or something like that. And the people were trying to argue that the event generator stopped being random on 9/11, and then here's some like statistical, and this article is actually saying this is bullshit, but I just want to point this out, that this idea is out there. And I kind of agree with this article when he's talking about statistics, but that's not what this video is about. So anyways, I just wanted to point this out. Yeah, this idea that our thoughts affect reality and stuff is being studied. Okay, now Ghostbusters. Now I know this isn't the World Trade Center in the movie Ghostbusters. This is just an apartment building, but it is a building. And what we have here is some sort of a magical Stargate event taking place in New York City at the top of a building, where a portal is being opened and a god named Gozer is stepping through. And let's play the video.
What do you mean choose? We don't understand.
Choose the form of the Destructor.
Choose the form of the Destructor.
I get it. Oh, very cute. Whatever we think of. If we think of J. Edgar Hoover will appear and destroy us, okay? So empty your heads. Empty your heads. Don't think of anything. We've only got one shot at this.
The choice is made.
Whoa!
The Traveler has come.
Nobody choose anything. Did you choose it?
So, what's going on here? We have a god coming through a portal into our universe, and their imagination creates the form of the Destructor on New York, on the top of a building. I don't know, is this some predictive programming for the 9/11 ritual? I wonder. And then here's what I wanted to show everyone. This is what I've been watching this show recently. I think there's a lot of revelation of the method in this show. Even, you know, it's a stupid cartoon for kids. It's called Dragon Ball Super. And when I saw this, I was kind of like, holy shit, this is like perfectly explains in a cartoon this whole like point I've been trying to make this entire time about a magician focusing, you know, the energy and attention of the more people watching, the more powerful your spell. So here, this is a scientist who's created a machine that the machine, whatever you imagine, the machine will create. I'm just going to play this clip. And unfortunately it is dubbed. It isn't dubbed. So she says imagine. That's it. So this machine can she says, everyone watching out there, face your TV and imagine the most delicious food in the universe right now. Okay, so she's asking everyone watching on TV to look at their TV and imagine the most delicious food in the universe to send to this machine that they created in the show, and the machine, whatever you imagine, the machine can create. So she's now taking a camera, everyone's watching a TV, she points it at the machine that if you imagine, the machine will create what you imagine. Now she's asking them to imagine the most delicious food. Because the god of destruction in this anime, there's a god of destruction, and his name is Beerus. He's obsessed. The way they get him to come to Earth is like they tempt him with, they're like, we got this awesome food, you can come eat. So he's always coming. So they're trying to create the most he's sleeping right now, and they're trying to summon him to save the planet, actually. The god of destruction trying to save Earth. Imagine that. But, so, yeah, that's what's taking place right now if you're playing it. The most delicious food in your country. Your mother's cooking anything, she says. I'll explain later. If you don't, the world will end. She's telling everyone to imagine the most delicious food. So now he's absorbing the imagination, the energy from everyone in the world. She's got the camera pointing on them. They're imagining watching TV, the most delicious food, and the machine is absorbing all of their energy from all over the world. That's what's happening right now in this episode. This is exactly what the magicians are doing on these Super Bowl halftime rituals and like an event like 9/11. And boom. Magic. And then that's supposedly the most delicious food, which summons Beerus, the god of destruction. You go back to Ghostbusters. They said choose the form of your destroyer. So I just think that's an interesting connection. Choose the form of your destroyer. And what I think 9/11 did is it just changed reality. It altered the reality we were a part of. Everything is now different because of 9/11, and there's the god of destruction being summoned. So, coincidences? Is there something to what I'm saying? Am I just full of shit? Is this all? Am I just crazy? My mind's putting this together. I don't know. Through my study of magic, I think there's something going on here.
Critical alert from Michael.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't believe in it, but yeah. Anyways, have a good day, everyone.